In the small city of Aja, there lived a pastor named Bayo. He was married to Kiki. They were blessed with two beautiful children. Bayo was a very poor pastor with few members in his church. He could barely feed his family. His wife was like the breadwinner of the family as she supports her husband with a small business she was doing. She was a hawker who hawked buns. She would wake up very early in the morning to mix and fry her buns and still prepare the children for school. One morning, Kiki woke up to prepare for the day's sales when she heard her husband praying. She looked at him with so much anger as she went to tap him. Bayo, Bayo, can you please stop all this rubbish? All this prayer every time. It's beginning to annoy me. Prayer without action is useless. Just look at me. I am beginning to look older than my age. At just 30, I look like I am 50 years old because of too much suffering. We need to do something about this, our predicament though. Bayo stopped his prayers as he sighed and looked at his wife. Kiki, you know I am carrying out the work of God. He called me to serve him. It's not like I folded my hands doing nothing. I have a business I am doing, but it's not just moving well. Before Bayo could finish speaking, she interrupted him. Oh, please stop all this yapping. Are you sure God called you to be a pastor? Because I can't see why he will call you to be his servant and still allow you to suffer. You barely have 20 members in your church. Every Sunday, their offering is barely up to 1,000 naira. In fact, I don't even know I am wasting my time here talking to you. Kiki left her husband and went to prepare her buns. As she was hawking her buns that day, she saw a very big church filled with members and luxurious cars parked outside. Just look at. My goodness, see how this church is filled with people. Why can't my husband's church be like this? Kiki went back home that day and refused to talk to her husband. At night, when Kiki went to ease herself in the toilet, on returning back, she went to check up on her kids and discovered that one of her child is running temperature. His body was very hot, as if someone had poured hot water on him. Bayo, Kiki called out her husband's name. Wake up, Ebeyemi is running temperature. We need to take him to the hospital. Do you have any money with you? The one I have won't be enough. I have used the money I have to buy more chairs for our church, Bayo replied. Kiki was staring at her husband, looking very angry and speechless, looking for a very hot insult to throw at him. Oh my God, Bayo, you're a very big raccoon. How can you use your money to buy a chair for a church that is empty and only has few members? You must be very sick in the head. Kiki, stop all this now. Please stop. Did I commit a crime by buying more chairs for our church? Okay, Bayo. What are we going to do now? This boy is very sick and needs to be treated. Let's just go to a chemist store and buy him drugs. By tomorrow, I know he'll be fine. Kiki ignored her husband without responding as she used a warm cloth to place on Obeyemi's head. Few minutes later, Bayo returned with the drugs he got and gave them to Obeyemi. But the drugs was not strong enough as Obeyemi was still sick. Few days later, he passed on. Kiki cried out her eyes that day as she kept on blaming her husband for the death of their son. I am tired of this stupid marriage and your stupid church. I am tired of this poverty and this constant hope that never seemed to materialize into something tangible. She kept on bashing Bayo. I cannot keep living like this. You're a pastor, but what do you have to show for it? Nothing. You can't even feed your family. Bayo sighed, his heart heavy. He knew the truth of her words, but had no solution to offer. Few months later, Kiki did something very drastic. She visited a spiritualist, rumored to help people rise to wealth and fame. The old man, sitting behind a table adorned with mystical items, listening to her story. Sir, Please help me. I have suffered enough for many years now. My husband's church has remained stagnant. We barely have up to 20 members in our church. I want our church to grow. Whatever it takes, I'll do it. Your husband's church will never grow unless he embraces the power that can be offered to him, the spiritualist said. Bring him here. I'll help him. Thank you so much, sir, Kiki replied as she hurriedly rushed back home. Kiki returned home with a spark of hope in her eyes. You must come with me, Bayo, she insisted. This man knows how to help us. He can make your church grow, and we will have everything we've ever wanted. Kiki, what has possessed you? I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. Why will you suggest such thing to me? Oh, please just shut up, Bayo. Who are you rebuking? Do I look like a demon to you? Hear me out first. Just follow me to this spiritualist. Then we can hear what solution he has to offer. Bayo, a man who had always placed his faith in God, hesitated. But seeing Kiki's desperation and knowing fully well who his wife was, he then reluctantly agreed to follow her. The next day, very early in the morning, they visited the spiritualist together. The man welcomed them with a smile. Pastor Bayo, your situation is not unique, he began. But there is a way to change everything. If you follow my instructions, your congregation will grow beyond your widest dream. All you need to do is connect with the young single girls in your church intimately. As you do, they will bring more members and your influence will multiply. Bayo was very horrified. I am a servant of God, he shouted. How can I betray my faith, my vows, and my calling in this way? So you are telling me to commit adultery with my church members? But Kiki, who was sitting beside him, gave him a cold, hard look and then said to him, Do it, Bayo, or I will leave you. I can't live in poverty any longer. It's not like this is going to be hard for you to do. You were once a cheat before you gave your life to Christ. I have caught you severally with different women. So don't act like you're a saint just because you're a pastor now. And besides, do you know what other pastors are doing? Look at your friend who opened the ministry the other day. It's not even up to a year and his ministry is already booming. Bayo, torn between his faith and his wife's desperation, gave in. Okay, fine, I'll do it. Good! Now you are acting like a man, Kiki said as she smiled. Bayo began to follow the spiritualist's instructions and began to have intimacy with the single girls of his church. As weeks passed, his congregation grew, the church expanded, and soon the once empty church was filled with so many people. One Sunday morning, Kiki prepared for church as she came to the parlor to admire herself holding her Bible. Hey, this is how a pastor's wife should look. Not those days when I wear rags as clothes to church. They returned from church that day with plenty of money. Kiki was so excited as she touched her husband's chin, who refused to smile. This is what I am talking about. Just look at this money. Bayo, our life has changed for good. Bye-bye to poverty, oh. At least, when I tell someone I am a wife to a pastor, the person will believe me. Bayo, we are going to buy a new house, a new car. In fact, by tomorrow, I am going for shopping. I need to change my wardrobe. Kiki noticed that her husband was not smiling as she went close to him and said, Bayo, stop now. I don't like this expression on your face. You should be happy that we are no longer poor. But Kiki, Bayo said as he looked at his wife, this is very wrong in the sight of God. Don't worry. God will understand. He is a merciful God. Kiki laughed as she packed all the money and went into her room. But Bayo's conscience gnawed at him, guilt clouding his every sermon. He had wealth, but the cost weighed heavily on his soul. One day, the spiritualist summoned Bayo once again. This time, his demand was far darker. To secure the final phase of your success, the spiritualist said in a low, sinister voice, you must offer one of your church members as a sacrifice. Bayo's heart froze. A sacrifice, he shouted as his eyes opened wide. Bayo echoed, his voice trembling. Yes, only one, the spiritualist replied. If you don't do it, you will run mad. Bayo couldn't believe what he was hearing. The thought of taking someone's life to maintain his ill-gotten success horrified him. He then said to the spiritualist, I'd rather run mad than do this evil you are asking me to do. Bayo left and drove off with his car, straight back home. Immediately he got back home, he called out his wife's name. Kiki, you caused all this. Kiki was confused as to what was going on. She then asked her husband what the problem was. Can you believe that evil spiritualist told me to sacrifice one of my church members to maintain my wealth, or else I'll run mad if I don't? Kiki's face twisted with anger as she said to her husband, and so what? Is that why you're furious? He said you should sacrifice just one person. You have a lot of members. Why don't you pick one person? It's not that hard. Just listen to yourself, Kiki. Bayo replied, it's not that hard. Why don't you do it yourself? After all, you are my wife. Ah, Bayo. Me, I can't do it too. Are you not the one they asked to make the sacrifice? I can't soil my hand in blood. Just hear yourself out. You just sounded so stupid and selfish. You know what? I am done, Bayo said. I can't do this anymore. This is pure evil. I refuse to go any further. Kiki then turned to Bayo and said to him in a harsh tone, you've come this far. Bayo, you can't back out now. If you stop, we will lose everything. And you will run mad too. I don't care, Kiki. I don't care. You've pushed me too much. I am ready to run mad. I would rather lose everything than sacrifice a human being. I've done enough wrong already. I cannot continue. Kiki, driven by greed and desperation, stormed into her room and began to pack her things and that of her child. I am leaving this marriage. I am done for good. Bayo coiled up at a corner when Kiki left and began to weep like a baby. Kiki has ruined my life. I am finished. I shouldn't have listened to her from the very start. God, I am sorry. Please forgive me. Have mercy on me. At a second thought, Bayo said to himself, I think I deserve this. This is my punishment for going against God. After the time that was given to Bayo to make the sacrifice elapsed, he ran mad. Kiki was not left out too. After some months, Kiki became very sick, a sickness that had no trace. She wasted all her money on hospital bills and still did not get better, as she eventually passed. We've come to the end of this story. Thank you so much for watching to the end. I would like to ask a question and I would really love to hear your reply. Do you think Kiki pushed her husband too much? Please drop your thoughts in the comment section, and please, if you've not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. It's free. Remember to like our videos and also comment. Thank you so much for stopping by. Bye.